All right. Dang it, I don't like that. What up, people? We are back at it with KHE episode 2. As always, Derek with benDy Tubes. First and foremost, thank you to our sponsor, KHE Bikes. Go check them out, khebikes.com. Right now, I am rocking a pair of Mac 2 Plus tires. I'm used to the Mac 1s, but these are so stable, so big, so round, so awesome. Check them out, grab you a pair, and ride the heck out of them. Okay, so this is gonna be one of the most mid-school flatland videos ever. We're talking KHE after 06, and I'm not gonna beat around the bush. This is gonna be like 20 minutes long, so let's go. First of all, huge shout out to Mark Pedersen, the brain behind the Swiss Miss bar. He uploaded a ton of pictures and reference materials to Facebook recently that have helped out a ton. So thank you, Mark. So for continuity purposes, we're gonna jump right in, starting with the guy that spans both early and mid school, Jusitn Punete, in his next signature frame, which is number 3 from KHE. Now remember, we had the premium lager, we had the flatland, and now in 06 we got the equilibrium. This thing was a crisscross, having tiny little gap up front type frame. Down tube intersects the top tube. This bottom tube's actually more like a big gusset than a pierced top tube. Huge gusset at the top though, keeping that intersection strong. Removable brake hardware, 18/8 top tube, 13 chainstay, 75-degree head tube angle. Available as a frame or a complete in 09, and that complete was totally badass. Awesome parts list, Swiss Miss bars, Tanaka forks, Geisha hubs, maybe like an upper mid tier than a top tier bike, just judging by the parts that were on it, and the price coming in around 900 bucks. Also, frame around that 09 time frame was around 4.5 pounds, while the complete tipped the scales at 22.9 pounds. So not bad, super dope frame for sure. Ran from 06 till the final version in 09, lots of cool features. Early on it had an F set, later it dropped the backies being stock, but they're still optional on that gray complete. Easter eggs, not many other than the top tube and the gusset are 2 separate tubes, like I said, no piercing. Super rad, and as I mentioned in 2013, Jesse had that premium lager light prototype that dropped too. From here, let's go with Justin Miller's signature frame, the KHE Militant. First, Justin's style was so technical, huge bar flips and switches at will. So sick. Back to the bike though, several versions existed. The first development began around December of 05, and then they dropped this first frame in 06, and this thing was a 2-tone double bent gusseted banger of mid-schoolery. 18.9 top tube, an interesting 75.2 degree head tube angle, 13.19 chain stays, around 4.7 pounds, top and bottom tubes stuck together all the way back to those bends, back brake ready, beautiful design, slightly bent in the seat stays, internal head seb, like 2 thumbs up for sure. Then in 07, they dropped a murdered out version of the same one, black only, frame only. And before we move away from this, Tomas did let me know that they made a 16-inch version for Justin's girlfriend too, which is super rad. Only like 2 existed. So cool, Tomas. So cool. Now in 08, the Militant took a break because in 09, the floodgates opened. Tubes got skinny. Top tube goes straight edge, as do the chain stays, in multiple models to boot. And this frame is so clean, like so clean. So simple, so sleek. Offered as a framework complete, let's do this. First version, the Militant FF. Lower range model, if I'm being honest, pretty basic. Glad it existed. Front and back brakes, 25 pounds, 18.8 top tube. Cool. Next, the Militant LT, mid-tier, better bits, a little bit smaller at 18.5. News to me, it came with Mac 1 steel tires, which I totally forgot those were a thing. But even better than the FF, but not as good as the Stealth. Y'all, this is the first of many top tier flatland bikes I'll be talking about. 18.9 top tube, 18.9 pounds. Best of all the bits, Alchemy pegs, Tanaka forks, stimulators, Swiss Miss, Geisha lights, And some of the best looking brakes around with those CNC brakes. So sick. Ultra light, 1,400 bucks new way back in the $09. Just top tier banger of a bike. And like, did you all hear that it was 18.9 pounds? In case you forgot, that's less than 20, which is like featherweight back in the day. So sick, love this bike. It looks like maybe these models did roll into 2010 with little to change on these beautiful, beautiful designs. And the little Easter egg on the KHE Militant, just like the Paris, the seat stay tubes are a little bit smaller in diameter than the chainstay tubes, keeping it a little bit lighter. Next, we have the Paris from Alex Jumelin, and this is more of a harbinger of what the future new school is gonna look like. But this is his model lineup with KHE, and thankfully the new school version was kind of short-lived. Straight tubes, ultra light. It's the first 100% heat-treated chromoly frame made of 4130 Japanese Senko chromoly tubing. Solid, super classic geometry, but I believe at the time it was like the lightest bike that was out, lightest frame that was out, 1.55 kilograms, 3.41 pounds. Super simple, super light, CNC holes on the bottom bracket, top tube length 18.77, chainstay length 13.12, and a redeeming quality of a head tube angle 74 degrees. Then Alex said he wasn't done and they came out with the Paris 2. And this was sold as a frame only and kind of slots a little bit more into the mid-school era. Top and bottom gussets reminds me a ton of A Bad Thing. Like, just gives you a little bit more room to dance around on the front end. Very much like that A Bad Thing frame, but still super rad. Ultra light, similar dimensions, 74.5 degree head tube angle, 18.8 top tube, and a 12.9 rear center on those chainstay. Also, this has some Stereo Panda branding, and I'm not 100% sure of the connection there. Might have been a sponsorship, I don't know. But really cool branding. And some little things you may not get from the pictures. The seat stays are actually a smaller diameter than the chain stays to keep it light. Internal headset, Euro bottom bracket, not a brake mount in sight. Then we got the Paris 3 in 09, and this one is so banging. First, how to tell the difference between the 2 and the 3 is the frame size and then the size of that little gusset on top. It's a teeny bit smaller and you can see it in the details and kind of where the top tube and down tube intersect the head tube. But this was offered as a frame or a complete. First, lightest frame made in 09, 74.5 degree head tube angle, 18.2 top tube, like I said, shorter, and the same 12.9 chainstays. But y'all, the top tier complete is freaking insane. 1,600 bucks in 2009 dollars, titanium Hindenburg crank set, 17.8 pounds complete. Insane. Just a laundry list of the top level components. Once again, Swiss Miss, Geishas, Tanakas, Max, Alchemies, those CNC U-brakes. They offered the same complete with chromoly cranks, but who wants that when you can get the titanium one? Beautiful, Slamsville all the way. Now, a quick pause. There was an ultra limited KHE complete that dropped in 07 right before the 08 Paris, and it looks pretty dang similar, and that is the Phantom. Super similar to a Paris 2, almost a Paris 2 complete. This flank frame has reliefs machined in the head tube and the seat tube cut down on weight. From a part standpoint, titanium axles on the cranks and pedals. Super cool no-con segmented aluminum cables. So rare, like 4 were made, and if you got one, hit me up. We may be able to talk. But this is just like an amazing bike. I've only seen these pictures. I've never seen one in ownership. Just, oh, so good. And before we get back into the signature frames of KHE between this 06 and future time frame, there was another one that was kind of between the Equilibrium and the Paris, and that was the Stylus. This was an entry-level flatland complete around the 06-07 time frame, and mind you, one of the very few United States frames that got the F-set that I can recall. So lower gusset, crissy-crossy tubes, front and back brakes. Glad they made it, for sure. Then we've got Daniel Furman and his Da Function bike. Daniel rode with so much power, switching so hard and so fast. Like, listen to that. Hard carves, quintessential mid-school. As for the bike, this one actually did not make it across the pond here to the US originally. So my knowledge on Daniel and this bike is actually pretty limited, but just look at it. I mean, mid-school is the day as long, ultra curved top tube, slightly curved down tube, F-set, sold as a complete in 07, 08, more mid-tier than top tier, priced around 500 bucks, 27 pounds, 19 top tube, 74-degree head tube angle, 330 on the chainstays. Great flatland dimensions overall, a super solid offering from KHE. And also Daniel went on to do big things and is currently running Kunstform BMX mail order in Stuttgart, Germany. Pumped that this dude is still in the business. Go hit him up, buy something, do it now. Thanks again to Tomas for helping close the information gaps. Thanks to Mark for the pictures and the insight and all that. Thanks to KHE for sponsoring this video. Thanks for watching. Derek, benDy Tubes, we're out of here.